Hey, Shalom, Israel. First off, I would like to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Also would like to say peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the Akim, that's teaching his word in all sincerity and faith throughout the four corners of the earth. For the few sisters that watch and sincerely believe, Shalom to you as well. Just all through the spirit, I just wanted to come with a quick lesson. What's hot in today's news is, if you can just go to various articles. I was just on Google. There was Saudi Arabia oil facilities attacks, and the ramifications have been so far that oil prices have spiked due to the recent attacks on the Saudi Arabian oil facilities. Now, the president, Donald J. Trump, the beloved DJ Trump, he's coming in the spirit to not know the corporate behind these attacks, even though we know at the end of the day, America and the whole UN system is behind this ultimately, indirectly, because that's only gonna propel U.S. exports as far as oil production goes. And with the prices going up, that's just gonna be profitable to the U.S. and just help further push the petrodollar, which a lot of these other nations, they're trying to back out of the petrodollar. So this was a very calculated move. And in the midst of it, Trump, he's been on Twitter acting like he doesn't know who the corporate is. And then you got a lot of factions within the U.S. Government that trying to hint out that the Iranians are the ones that are behind these Saudi Arabian attacks. But no one's silly at the end of the day. Everybody know how everything at this point is all agenda based to help promote U.S. exports as far as oil production goes, man. So I was just gonna just read a few scriptures, just how basically next year, I know we're coming up on a re-election year, and all through the spirit, if we're still here, I truly believe that the beloved Donald J. Trump, he's going to get reelected. And really through the spirit, I'm all for that. In fact, just for clickbait purposes, I'm going to title the video, blacks and Latinos, which we know that the Israelites are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You should be voting for Trump. Now, like I said, this is all for clickbait purposes, because at the end of the day, no Israelite should be participating in this voting process. Voting has not gotten our people anywhere. We've had a historical legacy of trying to participate in voting, but it's always to our detriment. But just for clickbait's sake and just to edify through the spirit of the word, I'll label the video, blacks and Latinos should vote for Trump, which through the spirit, I hope he does get reelected if we're still in this place, because the point being made is Trump, he's going to get this thing started, man. He's basically, the Most High is going to put the spirit on him to basically push us closer to the Third World War, World War III. Well, all of the other nations, they're going to gather together to shoot missiles on America, man, and bring the destruction of Great Babylon, which is America in the Bible, because America is that great city, Great Babylon, that was prophesied in the Bible. And right now, the king of Great Babylon is the beloved Donald J. Trump, So without further ado, I'll hit a few scriptures and just speak on this, man. Because all of these different snares that America is indirectly setting up for these other nations to carry out their agendas, man, these other nations, they already know what time it is, man, And then, of course, they always use the Persians, which is Iran, as the scapegoat to blame them for the BS that they really behind the scenes doing, man. Actually, I'm going to start off here in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, before I speak too much. And there's various articles where brothers can read more for themselves to get the narrative on what happened as far as those Saudi Arabian oil facilities getting attacked, But I'll start off here. This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." So This is what the elect is hoping is going to happen sooner than later. We hope by the works, by the labor of love of preaching his word, trying to edify and wake up our people to repent, that the Lord is going to have mercy on us, man, because Jacob, his name was changed to Israel. That represents the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And we want autonomy. We want our own standard. Like, you got people, I was watching this Revolve debate with T.I., Killer Mike, and some other so-called Negroes just debating over nothing. Basically, Jake is still in that mindset of voting and thinking somehow trying to set up a standard under this white supremacist flag, like that's going to work. No, we need autonomy. And the only way the autonomy is going to come is, first of all, through the deliverance of the elect, and then the establishment of the kingdom of heaven on earth, Yahweh's kingdom. That's when the nation of Israel is going to have their own standard and be set up in their own land, and having the heathens, coming up to learn of our way. So any Jake, and when we say Jake, we're talking about the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Any Israelite in America, you should be begging the Lord to expedite the prophecies coming to pass for the destruction of Great Babylon, which is America, and for the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. And we know that process starts through the Lord putting the spirit on the king of Babylon, which is Donald J. Trump, to do everything possible to get this third world war kicked off, man, to get it popping. Because we know that those are the steps that's going to lead to us getting our kingdom. That's the points being made. So that's why I'm saying, just for an argument's sake, which I don't condone voting, but just like I said, for clickbait, blacks and Latinos, they should vote for Donald Trump, man, because he's going to be the guy that the Most High is going to use to bring the destruction of America. And I'm with that. I'm all with that. If that's the case, it says, verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And Jake, they want to just be equal with every damn body, man. Like, our people still have a problem and get an attitude when you tell them that they're a special people and that they're a chosen people that was set up to be above all of these other nations, man. Jake still somehow thinks that we're going to form a standard under the so-called white man, the nation of Edom, man. And we've seen how that's worked out for us so far, man. To where you might have a very small handful of Israelites that have privileges and certain advantages within this world. But the collective body of the nation is just in complete turmoil, man. And we're looking to rule over all of these heathens at the end of the day, because Jake, they still have a slave mentality. Our people don't want to rule. And voting is not going to bring us into rulership, man, because you got to ask, our people never ask themselves this simple question. Did the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people, did they vote to get control of America? No. And furthermore, the scriptures in Daniel, it says that the saints shall take the kingdom. So it's not going to be a vote for us to establish our own kingdom and our own empire and have autonomy and have sovereignty. It's going to have to be taken, man. Just like Esau himself took this land from our brothers, the so-called North American Indians, which are the tribe of Gad and Reuben. But our people somehow thinking voting is going to put them in a better position than they already are, man. Like, voting really, at this point, if you still in that mindset, man, you're not in the right spirit, man. You really part of the problem. But like I said, hey, if you really gonna vote, or really, I'm not condoning voting, but I'd rather to say, we just hope that the Lord uses Donald Trump to push these prophecies quicker, man. That's the ultimate point that I'm making, if that all makes sense. I'm going to just continue on. Isaiah 14:3, it says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So voting is just going to keep you in perpetual slavery, even though it's no longer chattel slavery where you're on a plantation and you're subject to a master. Is more of a debt industrial slavery, man. But our people, they would love it to have it such, man. Being continual debt slaves, perpetual slaves for the rest of their lives, man. They don't want rest from their sorrow. They don't want rest for their people, man. It says, verse Isaiah 14:4, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. And we know through the prophecies that America fits the prophecies of Great Babylon that was set up, that's reserved to be destroyed in the Third World War. And right now, Donald J. Trump, the beloved Donald J. Trump, DJ Trump, he's the king of Babylon. So I'm all with his agendas, man. Whatever the spirit that the Most High puts on him to get these nations stirred up in anger to shoot those missiles, I'm all for that, because I know that that's going to expedite the kingdom of heaven playing out to where the Israelites going to rise up in power through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. And we can see it happening, man. It says, verse 4, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Because people will get simple and be like, well, America is not in the Bible. But you got to be spiritual, man, to know that Great Babylon is talking about America. What's the golden city? You know, all of these different nations, when they before they come over here, they got these fantasies and illusions of grandeur of coming over here to streets paved in gold. America's that golden city that everyone flocks to for a better life, for better opportunities, man. The American dream. But the scriptures here through the prophecy saying that how hath the oppressor ceased, because the wicked which are in rulership, the Edomites, that's the oppressors, they're about to cease. Their rule is about to stop. And it says the golden city, America, is about to be put to a cease. It's about to be put to an end. And we believe all through the spirit that Donald J. Trump is going to speed up that process. So I'm all for Donald J. Trump being back in office, man. Because he wants all that smoke, man. Even though now he's trying to downplay it with this whole Saudi Arabian oil facilities attack, saying that he don't want to go to war and trying to act like he don't know who is behind these attacks. When we know, if you got spiritual eyes to see, man, you know that America is indirectly involved. This is the way that the left hand plays, man. And these other nations, they're waking up to that grim realization. Verse 6, it says, or verse 5, Isaiah 14:5, it says, the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So that's what's happening right now, because all of these other nations that were at one point considered weak, the playing field is becoming more level because they have a lot of the same nuclear technologies and capabilities as America. So America's staff, the staff of the wicked, is being broken. You know, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So that's the MO or mode operandi for Great Babylon, aka America. They just have a historical track record of just smiting these different nations with a continual stroke and ruling these nations in angers, just bombing them to hell, just raping and pillaging their lands and stealing all of their resources, just subjecting their people to the American ideals and philosophies, man. And it says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. And America is basically setting up a snare for themselves, because all of these other nations, they're going to rise up and they're going to band together to destroy America. And nobody's going to stop that process, because that's all ordained through the spirit of the Heavenly Father. And it says, verse 7, it says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So ultimately, once Great Babylon, America, is destroyed, the whole earth is going to be at rest and it's going to be quiet. It's going to be peace on the earth, like it talks about in Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's what's going on. The majority of the people and all of the different nations of the earth, they're in a state of mourning right now, because the wicked, the so-called white man, the nation of Edom, because they're in rulership, man. And it ain't hard to tell that that's the case. But with all being said, the king of Babylon at this appointed time, Donald J. Trump, we know through the spirit that he's going to push the envelope on these prophecies coming to pass to bring the destruction of America, man. Because in order for the kingdom of heaven to be established, America has to go down, man. It ain't gonna be no two kings sitting on the throne, man. That's not how it's gonna be. It's gonna be a mono rulership when Yahweh Shai kingdom is set up on the earth, man. But the point being made, in order for the kingdom of heaven to come in, this wicked ass kingdom, it has to be torn down. So if Trump has to be reelected, if he has to do all the madness that he's doing, just continuing to rape these other nations and just talk reckless and bombing these other nations to hell and continuing to steal their resources, that's just going to make this whole process quicker of the nations getting together to destroy America. And I'm all with that process. And any Israelite in their right mind, they should be with that process as well, because that's what's going to bring forth peace. Not a vote. Not a vote, man. Not a vote. But I'm going to jump to another scripture. I'm going to jump to the book of Jeremiah real quick. Because, I mean, it's damn near 2020, man. And we've seen that whether it's Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever the case may be, these are all just different arms of the same beast, man. This whole system is built upon white supremacy, man. So whatever different categories you want to call these different political factions, it's all the same thing, man. It's all under the umbrella of so-called white supremacy, which any so-called white supremacy brings an immediate or a disadvantage to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You should want your own standard. You shouldn't want to try to just coexist under a standard of an oppressive people, man, that don't have any of your best interests at heart. I mean, it's time to wake up. But our people are fearful of the process that comes along with gaining sovereignty and gaining your own land and your own kingdom, man. It's only going to come by war and violence. That is true. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but peace comes through war, you know. And we're waiting on that ultimate third world war, man. The war of all wars. That's going to bring the devastating destruction of Great Babylon. And then after that, that's when the kingdom of heaven is going to be set up, man, to where we're going to be in good case. So any Israelite in their right mind, they should be begging the Lord to put the spirit on the leaders of Great Babylon, namely right now, Donald Trump, to do everything possible to kick off this third world war. Point blank, period. I'll read this. This is Jeremiah 50:18. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, and the Lord of hosts means Lord of armies, because the Lord is a man of war. And that's what's being stirred up in the earth today. It's a spirit of war. We're not in a time of peace. Peace will come once the war is done. Once Great Babylon, that wicked empire, is brought down. That's how peace is going to come through the earth, you know, not through voting. It says, Jeremiah 50:18, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. So whenever it talks about Babylon and Assyria in the Bible, these were all kingdoms that had the nation of Israel in captivity. Through the spirit, you can equate it to America, because America, this is a place of Israelite captivity to this day. You know, we're still in the hands of our wicked oppressor unto this day. But I'm going to jump down. This is Jeremiah 50:22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. And that's what's happening right now through the earth, man. That's why the scriptures talk about in Matthew 24, there shall be seen wars and rumors of wars. So right now it's a lot of rumors. There's just a lot of skirmishes and battles. But all of these things is going to build up. It's going to be a build up to an epic finish, World War III, when all of these different nations are going to gather together and the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to shoot their missiles to destroy Great Babylon, America, man. That's why it talks about in Daniel, the 12th chapter, is going to be a time that we're coming into that has been since never since the world was established. I'm trying to loosely paraphrase it, you know. So the time that we're coming into, the time leading into World War III, is going to be the most devastating time that the earth has ever seen. But we know that process has to happen in order for the kingdom of heaven and for peace to come on the earth, you know, and for the nation of Israel to be set up in rulership. It says, verse 23, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? And we know that the hammer of the earth is talking about America, namely their military, because that's how America is able to enforce their policy throughout the planet Earth and throughout these other nations through their military might. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So everything that America is doing right now through the Spirit of the Lord, they're just setting a snare and a trap for themselves for these other nations to ultimately destroy Great Babylon. It says, and that's what it's going to say, Jeremiah 50:24. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, and a snare is a trap. And it says, O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. So all of these different weapons and things of that nature that they've used to destroy and just completely desolate these other nations, that's going to be a snare unto them. The Lord's going to use those same weapons to destroy Great Babylon. They're going to get a taste of their own medicine, so to speak. And rightfully so. It's all going to be justifiable in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 25, it says, the Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. And what's that? It's talking about those thermonuclear missiles, those ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, man, that are going to be shot from one end of the earth to the other. That's what's going to bring that devastating destruction to Great Babylon. Like it talks about in Isaiah 54:16, the Lord had created the smith that blow the coals in the fire. So the Lord created men on the earth to come up with that capability and technology to create a weapon that can be shot from one end of the earth to another, that can cause a devastating destruction in less than an hour. It says, for this is the work of the Lord of hosts. And I was just saying that the Lord of hosts is the Lord of armies. So it's all going to be ultimately the work of the Lord when these missiles are shot over here on America, which is Great Babylon, you know, and rightfully so. So within that process, that's what's going to bring the kingdom of heaven. The destruction of Great Babylon, aka America, that's going to bring the establishment of the kingdom of heaven to where the Israelites going to be good. We're going to be in peace. We're going to be in power and rulership. We're going to have our own. We're going to have order. We're going to have our own standard through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, through the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, man. You know, we're no longer going to be a proverb and a byword amongst all of these different insignificant nations, man. We're going to be set back on top where we're supposed to be. I'm going to get this real quick. Salakia. Actually, hold on. Another script I want to get real quick. I want to get 2nd Esdras real quick. Salakia, Akim, just bear with me one moment. Yeah, this is 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, verse 7. It says, then answered I, and this is Esdras talking to the angel. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And that's the spirit that the elect is in right now. We want to know, when is the parting asunder of the times? Meaning, when is going to be the downfall of one kingdom and the establishment of the kingdom to come? It says, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So that's the spirit that the true men should be in. The true men of Israel should be in. We should always be in the spirit to want to know, to inquire of the Lord, like, damn, when is America going to be brought down? When is this wicked kingdom going to be put to an end? you know? And when is the kingdom of heaven going to be set up? And we know that there's certain prophecies that have to come to pass. And we know that the Lord is using the kings of these different nations to help that process go forth. Namely, right now with Great Babylon, Donald J. Trump. So I'll say yes. Me, myself, I'm not voting and I'm not condoning voting. But hey, if Trump gets reelected, call all y'all Bashim Yahweh. Because all through the spirit, we believe that the Lord is going to use him to incite and anger these other nations to bring the destruction of Great Babylon that much quicker, which is going to bring the kingdom of heaven that much quicker. It says, I'll continue on. It says, and he said unto me, I'll read it again. 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And that was spiritual, you know. So that symbolizes that Esau, which we know Esau is the nation of Edom, the self-proclaimed white people, you know, they would be set up to rule for an appointed time. And then Jacob, the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you would be set up to pull Esau down and be raised up in power to rule after. But the only thing is the kingdom of Israel, you know, which the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth under Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to be an everlasting kingdom. It says, for Esau, the so-called white people, the Edomites, it says, for Esau is the end of the world. And world, that doesn't mean the inhabited earth right here. It's just talking about an age or a rulership. So this current rulership, which is the rulership right now, is in the hand of the wicked, the self-proclaimed white people, the Edomites. So for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this current rulership is about to end. And after this rulership ends, after Great Babylon, America is destroyed, Jacob is the beginning of that which followeth, the kingdom of heaven, where the Israelites going to be in power. That everlasting kingdom is going to come next. We got next, because I know some Israelites, you know, they were saying that at one time. We got next. Because you got like Moab, the so-called Chinese, they're making different moves and investments. They think that they're somehow going to be next to rule, but that's not the case, man. They're just going to be an insignificant heathen nation that's going to be paying tribute to the nation of Israel in the kingdom of heaven. And any Israelite that's in America today, if you're in your right mind, you should be wanting this to happen sooner than later, man. So with all being said, man, you know, if the Spirit has us in America for this next upcoming election, I hope that Trump gets reelected, because we know that he's going to push the envelope to make these prophecies come speedily. And we hope that the prophecies come sooner than later so we can get the hell up out of here, man, and be established in our own kingdom and rule. So voting is really not the key. I don't condone our people to do any voting. But at the same time, man, if these Edomites or whoever want to support Trump, just let it happen. Just let the Lord work. So hopefully this made sense and edified. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, peace and blessings to the elect.